Yeah, something I've actually never said is I'm quite a big F1 fan. My earliest memories probably around the 2001 mark again, with various other memories that I sort of come to my head, is I used to love watching F1. My step-granddad was a big fan of F1. My dad was a big fan of F1. My step-granddad was more like into the Jaguar team. That was his team he followed and supported. And for me, I did too, but probably not for the same reason he did, mainly because the car was green and I really like that colour of green. But yeah, anyways, thanks to Frontier, they've given me this game so I'm able to show it you guys. I know it's a little bit different from my animal and prehistoric animal kind of vibe, but it's still a management game at the end of the day, and it's also made by Frontier, and I'm really excited to play this. I've never played a management game before. I've played like F1 simulator games where you actually are the driver, but never been the manager. So it's going to be quite a learning curve for me, and I'm probably not going to be so good at it straight away. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this. So straight into it, I decided to call my team Jurassic Racing, and we went for the hungry newcomer kind of pick because we are new and hungry to try this game out. I quickly went around selecting different team members and changing my team up a little bit, and then we got straight into the customization, which I absolutely love. I love the sheer amount of like color changing you can do, the different patterns that can be picked, the different layers for your clothing, helmet, and things like this. And especially the race car, there was tons of like customization I could have done to it with the patterns and colors. We went for the old Renault kind of colors where it was yellow and blue. Also slightly because, you know, Jurassic World Evolution 2 color scheme is that. And yeah, this is what I ended up with anyways. I picked that razzle dazzle kind of camouflage pattern. It's very stunning and distracting. Only thing I would say about it is when you get your sponsors on there, which you'll see in a bit, it does kind of hide them a little bit. It makes it hard to see, and the colours are a bit too in your face. But anyways, when starting this game, and let's say you're like me, you've never played a management game before in F1, it's so good in the sense of there's tons of like information thrown at you to learn, and it's very like user friendly in the sense if you've never played one of these, if you spend the time to read it, you'll know exactly what you're doing at the end. Obviously right now I'm sped up here, so we're blasting through it. Right now I'm selecting the sponsors and you'll see what I mean. Like I was just messing around, but you can completely customize these, change the position where they are on the vehicle, and change the color. I was trying to find the best ones that kind of stood out in my razzle dazzle pattern. If you see what I mean, it's harder to sort of see some of the kind of like sponsorships on there because of the coloration. But something that stands out the most to me is like the commentary and like the lead up to these games. You can also just make it so it's simulated and you don't have to take part in anything at all, which is I'd say you're missing out if you do that. Like I feel you have to enjoy this. This is about the moment. Yes, it can take a little bit longer than just clicking the simulate button. I feel like this makes the kind of game. There is some questionable stuff that happens every now and then when you're seeing the cars race. Like occasionally, sometimes I've seen where the F1 cars just completely stop on a corner to let another car go round, even though it was going round wide anyways, and there'd be no cause for collision. And then I've seen it before as well where both tyres have been burst and the car would just perfectly drive into the garage, and I was thinking, yeah, that would never happen. Not a perfect like corner like that with two burst tyres. But yeah, that's by the by. Nevertheless, it's really interesting to watch. I just like watching them inspect the cars driving round, seeing the track itself. It was just really entertaining to me. This is a kind of the management side of it I was all right with, and it got to a bit where I was getting, oh, I just want to get to a race now. And when I got to the race, I was pretty happy with it. Like, it was just entertaining to watch. A bit different from, like, not being able to drive it, and you're just seeing the driver do their job. And it kind of makes you feel like you are a manager in the sense of you're kind of helpless to get as far as the drivers going. Like, you can only tell them what to do, how to keep the car done, and it's up to that driver if they do what you want them to do. And yeah, it does immerse you in a sense of you're only in the pit watching what's going on rather than being the actual driver itself. Like if you are used to playing like the simulation driving games. So yeah. But I really do like the fact that you can flick through the different cameras and see all these different views, like you're in the helmet, driver on the wing, or you're on top of the car, and it just makes for like a really interesting watch, especially when you're just sort of like messing around with the controls in the back. I can't remember the last time I played a management simulation game like this. I'm pretty sure it was when my stepdad tried getting me into like a football one, but you never got to see the match, you just sort of saw the end result. So for me, this is like a big win, being able to enjoy the actual race and sort of control things as they go and actually physically see what your drivers are doing. I also like the fact that you can have one like only manually look after one and let your team look after the other, but if you really want to, you can look after both of them yourselves, which is a nice little thing I quite enjoyed. Made it easy. I just stuck with one at first because well, I'm still getting to grips, so this is my first ever game like of doing this, so it was got a big learning curve, but luckily it's got all those different learning vibes, and I was properly enjoying this. Like, to be honest, for me, like, I know the management side of it is like the big part of it, and the graphics aren't that bad. Like, it's quite enjoyable to watch, especially seeing my custom razzle dazzle camouflage vehicle racing around the tracks, and I find it good as well. Like, well, not good, like it's just a nice sound that it's like when it's going over the edges of the track, you hear the vibration of the raised paint patterns, which is kind of cool. Something I didn't really expect, and I was like, oh, that's ace. Like, a lot of this game is really it's ticking a lot of boxes for me. I mean, like I said, there is some of those odd things where the cars are doing very weird things that kind of takes you out of it a bit, but that's only a minor little thing. Like, the rest of this is really well detailed. Like, Frontier have done a really good job of this in the sense of there's like lots of instruction, lots of help, lots of different things you can change and manage and sort of just get to grips with. Like, something I'm gonna have to learn a lot, as well as all the messing around with all the different management tools and sorting out my vehicle. Like I said, I started with the new beginner. We did have a little bit of a crash where, luckily for me, the only thing that got damaged was the wing mirror, and something I didn't notice at the time because I was messing with all these different tools. At the top you can sort of replay the crash, which is going to make for some very interesting videos that you can do, and something I'm going to be doing a fair bit of, probably, is doing these little crash videos, because I bet they're going to look interesting, especially if you're in your cars constantly being aggressive and aggressively pushing and aggressively doing corners. I feel like there'll be a lot of accidents, and if I actually make it to a race, I reckon that's going to be the chaotic bit, keeping it in a constant aggressive state. I bet there'll be a few interesting crashes that you can get some good little screenshots and recordings from, and things like this. But overall, this is my first game. I know the mission is really to stop Verstappen from being the winner and taking Red Bull off the pedestal, which I failed at, but it was a good failure. I enjoyed this very much. I enjoyed all the little cutscenes. But yeah, if you want to see more of this, let me know in the comments. Did you enjoy it? And again, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.